2, 1.
Every magician's worst nightmare. The moment when months of practice, thousands of dollars in equipment and years of reputation building collapse in seconds. Not because someone figured out the trick, because the magician themselves accidentally exposed it. Camera malfunctions, wardrobe failures, timing mistakes, technical glitches. And in the age of HD video and slow-motion replays, these accidents don't just ruin one show. They go viral. They get analyzed frame by frame. They become permanent records of failure. This video breaks down 5 times professional magicians accidentally revealed their secrets on camera. Live television, recorded performances, social media, the methods exposed, the damage done, and how each performer dealt with the fallout. These aren't intentional reveals. These are genuine mistakes caught in real time. And they're brutal. America's Got Talent. A magician performs what's supposed to be an impossible card prediction. The setup is perfect. He has Judge Howie Mandel select a card from a shuffled deck. Howie looks at it, memorizes it, places it back. The magician never touches the deck after Howie shuffles. The magician then pulls out a sealed envelope that's been sitting on a table the entire time. He hands it to another judge to open. Inside is a card, the exact card Howie selected. The audience goes wild. The judges look stunned, but here's the problem. AGT films with multiple cameras from different angles, and one camera angle catches something the magician didn't account for. When the magician reaches for the envelope, the camera briefly shows his palm. There's a card palmed in his hand, a card that very clearly isn't the one Howie selected. The footage airs, magic forums explode immediately, slow-motion analysis reveals exactly what happened. The envelope on the table was a fake reveal. A misdirection. The real method involved the magician switching Howie's card during the shuffle with a force card, then palming the actual selected card to switch it into the envelope at the last moment. Except the camera caught the palmed card before the switch happened. The entire method was exposed frame by frame. The magician's technique wasn't bad, but the camera angle ruined everything. What was supposed to be an impossible prediction became a visible card trick. The magician tried to defend himself in interviews afterward, claimed the card in his palm was part of a different element of the trick, but magic experts weren't buying it. The method was clear. The exposure was complete, and his reputation in the magic community took a serious hit. This incident became a teaching moment for professional magicians about camera awareness. Stage angles that work for live audiences don't always work for television. Multiple camera angles mean multiple opportunities for exposure. Modern magicians have to choreograph their tricks not just for the people in front of them, but for cameras shooting from angles they can't control. The AGT performance has been analyzed in magic workshops and online tutorials as an example of what not to do. The trick itself was solid, the execution was decent, but one unplanned camera angle destroyed months of preparation. That's the brutal reality of modern magic, the masked magician television specials. Wait, those were intentional reveals. Let's talk about an actual accident. A magician performing on a morning talk show, live broadcast. The trick is a classic, making a dove appear from a burning piece of paper. The magician shows both hands empty, sets fire to the paper, and as the flames grow, a white dove suddenly appears in his hands, seemingly from nowhere. The method is simple. The dove is hidden in a special pocket built into the magician's jacket. It's called a dove bag or dove harness. The bird sits calmly in this hidden pouch. At the right moment, the magician reaches into the jacket through a concealed opening and pulls the dove out, while the audience's attention is on the burning paper. But here's what went wrong. The magician's jacket shifts during the performance, just slightly, enough that the hidden pocket becomes visible to the camera. Not obvious to the live studio audience, but crystal clear on the HD broadcast. Viewers at home can literally see the bulge in the jacket where the dove is hidden. Social media immediately catches it. Screen grabs get posted. The method gets explained. Within hours, the clip is circulating on YouTube with titles like "Dove Trick Exposed on Live TV" and "Magician's Secret Revealed by Wardrobe Malfunction." The magician had performed this trick hundreds of times without issue, but one slight shift in clothing during a live broadcast exposed the core method. The comment section was brutal. Half the people felt bad for the magician, the other half mocked him for the mistake. What makes this particularly painful is the timing. Morning talk shows are huge exposure opportunities for magicians, millions of viewers, potential bookings, career advancement. This magician had spent years building his reputation to get this slot, and one wardrobe shift ruined it. He never appeared on that talk show again. Bookings dropped significantly after the incident. Other magicians in the industry discuss this moment as a warning about the importance of proper equipment maintenance, measurements and clothing checks before every performance. The dove trick itself is over a century old. The method has been known to magic enthusiasts for decades, but there's a difference between magicians knowing the secret and general audiences seeing it exposed on live television. The latter damages not just one performer, but the entire effect for future performances. A street magician filming content for Instagram. The trick is a levitation. He appears to float about 6 inches off the ground while standing in the middle of a crowd. Spectators can walk around him. They can see from all angles. It looks impossible. The method involves a specially designed boot with a metal support that extends from one foot to the other. The magician stands on one foot while the other foot, which appears to be flat on the ground, is actually supported by this hidden metal structure. The boot and pant leg hide the mechanism completely. From certain angles, it looks like both feet are flat on the ground while the body floats. This trick is performed by street magicians worldwide. It's effective because it works in open environments with real crowds. The angles are carefully controlled so spectators never see the hidden support. But this particular magician makes a critical error. He's filming for Instagram using his own phone camera. He sets up the shot, performs the levitation, and posts it. The video gets thousands of views. People are amazed. Comments flood in asking how it's possible. Then someone points out something in the video. When the magician adjusts his position slightly, the camera catches a reflection in a nearby store window. The reflection shows the hidden support mechanism clearly. The metal bar extending from one boot to the other, the entire secret revealed not by a mistake in the performance, but by an unnoticed reflection. The magician deletes the video immediately, but it's too late. Screen recordings have been made. The clip gets reposted by magic exposure accounts. Slow motion analysis shows the reflection in perfect detail. The method is laid bare. What's particularly frustrating about this incident is that it was completely preventable. The performance itself was flawless, the angles were controlled, the technique was solid, but the magician didn't scout the location carefully enough, didn't notice the reflective surface behind him. One oversight destroyed the illusion. Street magic relies heavily on angle control. Performing in public means dealing with unpredictable elements like reflective surfaces, multiple camera phones, and spectators moving to angles the magician can't control. Professional street magicians spend significant time before performances checking sight lines, identifying potential problems, and choosing locations carefully. This Instagram incident became a case study in the importance of environmental awareness. The magic community shared it as a warning. Always check for reflective surfaces, always scout your location, always assume cameras are capturing angles you don't intend. The magician's follower count actually dropped after the incident. The mystique was broken. Audiences who thought they were seeing something impossible now knew the method. His content lost its impact because viewers approached every new video looking for the trick rather than enjoying the performance. Britain's Got Talent. A magician performs a large-scale illusion involving a cage and disappearing assistants. The setup is elaborate. 2 assistants are locked in a cage on stage. The cage is covered with a cloth. The magician performs some dramatic gestures. The cloth is removed. The assistants have vanished. The cage is completely empty. The trick relies on a false bottom in the stage. When the cloth covers the cage, the assistants quickly drop through a trapdoor in the floor of the cage. The trapdoor is spring-loaded and closes behind them. From the audience's perspective, the cage appears solid and the disappearance seems impossible. But here's what went wrong. The stage lighting was brighter than the magician anticipated, and one of the cameras was positioned lower than usual, closer to stage level. When the cloth was removed and the magician opened the cage doors to show it empty, that lower camera angle caught something crucial. The bottom of the cage reflected the stage lights in a way that revealed the trapdoor seam. It was subtle. Most viewers didn't notice during the live broadcast, but magic enthusiasts watching at home caught it immediately. Frame-by-frame analysis confirmed it. The trapdoor was visible for about 2 seconds. Online forums dissected the performance. The method was explained. Diagrams were drawn showing how the trapdoor mechanism worked. What was supposed to be a career-making performance on one of the biggest talent shows in the world became an accidental tutorial on illusion construction. The judges didn't notice during the live show. They gave positive feedback. The magician advanced to the next round, but by the time the next episode aired, the exposure had gone viral. The magician's credibility was damaged. Viewers watching subsequent performances were looking for trapdoors and hidden mechanisms instead of enjoying the magic. This incident highlights a specific challenge of modern magic performance. Ultra HD cameras capture details that human eyes miss. Seams in props that are invisible to live audiences show up clearly on 4K television. Lighting that works perfectly in a theater creates reflections and shadows that expose methods on camera. Professional television magicians now work with camera operators and lighting directors to ensure their tricks look clean from every camera angle. They test equipment under broadcast lighting conditions. They account for slow-motion replays and pause capabilities that home viewers have access to. The Britain's Got Talent incident became required viewing in magic production courses. Students study the footage to understand how lighting and camera angles can betray even well-constructed illusions. The lesson is clear: what works on stage doesn't automatically work on television without additional precautions. A corporate event, private performance, not meant for broadcast. A magician is hired to entertain at a company party, hundreds of employees watching. The magician performs a mentalism routine. He appears to read the mind of a volunteer, revealing personal information that no one could possibly know. The method is classic cold reading combined with social media research. Before the event, the magician's assistant researched attendees using Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, found personal details, family information, hobbies, recent trips. During the performance, the magician reveals these details as if reading the volunteer's mind. The trick works perfectly during the show. The volunteer is amazed. The audience is stunned. Everyone believes they witnessed genuine mind reading. The magician gets paid and leaves. But here's the problem. Someone at the event recorded the performance on their phone, posted it to the company's internal social media network, and one of the employees who watched the video happened to be the volunteer's co-worker, someone who knew the volunteer well enough to recognize that all the revealed information was publicly available on the volunteer's social media profiles. The co-worker posted a comment explaining exactly where each piece of information came from: the volunteer's recent vacation to Italy, posted on Instagram 2 weeks earlier; the volunteer's dog's name, profile picture on Facebook; the volunteer's college major, listed on LinkedIn. Every seemingly impossible revelation was traced back to public social media posts. The video went from internal social network to public forums. Magic exposure sites picked it up. The magician was identified. His method was broken down completely. What was supposed to be a private corporate gig became a public lesson in how modern mentalism works. The magician tried to defend himself by saying mentalism has always involved research and preparation, that Houdini and other historical performers used similar methods. But the damage was done. Corporate clients who had booked him started canceling. Event planners who relied on audience amazement didn't want a performer whose methods were publicly exposed. This incident illustrates a modern problem for magicians. Nothing is truly private anymore. Even performances at closed events can be recorded and shared. Social media makes researching people easier, but also makes exposing that research easier. The tools that enable modern mentalism also enable its exposure. Professional mentalists now have to make difficult choices. Some avoid social media research entirely, relying only on traditional cold reading techniques. Others explicitly tell audiences that research is part of their method, framing it as skill rather than supernatural ability. A few have abandoned mentalism altogether for tricks that don't rely on knowable information. The corporate event exposure became a turning point in how mentalism is performed and marketed. Transparency increased. More performers now acknowledge using psychology and research rather than claiming psychic powers. The change protects them from exposure while maintaining the entertainment value. 5 magicians, 5 accidental exposures, 5 moments that changed how magic is performed and understood. The AGT card trick showed how multiple camera angles can catch palmed cards that stage audiences never see. The morning show dove trick proved that wardrobe malfunctions can expose hidden mechanisms on live television. The Instagram levitation demonstrated how environmental factors like reflections can betray carefully controlled angles. The Britain's Got Talent disappearance revealed how modern lighting and cameras expose trapdoors invisible to live audiences. And the corporate mentalism event illustrated how social media makes research-based tricks vulnerable to exposure. These weren't malicious reveals. These were professionals making small mistakes that had massive consequences. A jacket shifting slightly, a camera positioned differently than expected, a reflection not noticed during location scouting, lighting that was brighter than anticipated, a recording that was supposed to stay private going public. What all these incidents share is the unforgiving nature of modern performance. Live audiences might miss these mistakes, but cameras don't. High-definition recording doesn't. Slow motion replay doesn't. Social media doesn't forget. Frame-by-frame analysis catches everything. The magic community has adapted. Modern performers now account for camera positions they can't control. They design tricks specifically for high-definition broadcast. They scout locations for reflective surfaces. They use wardrobe that can't shift or reveal hidden pockets. They avoid methods that rely on information easily traced to public sources. But mistakes still happen because magic requires split-second timing, precise movements, and multiple elements working perfectly together. One small error and the illusion breaks. One unplanned camera angle and the secret is exposed. One social media post and the method goes viral. These 5 incidents serve as permanent reminders that magic in the modern age requires more than skill and showmanship. It requires paranoid attention to detail, constant awareness of recording devices, and acceptance that any performance could be the one where everything goes wrong. The magicians featured in these stories all recovered to varying degrees. Some changed their acts entirely. Others doubled down on different types of tricks. A few left professional magic altogether, but all of them learned the same hard lesson. In an age of HD cameras and social media, there's no such thing as a small mistake. Every error is potentially permanent. If this showed something unexpected about the dangers of modern magic performance, subscribe right now. Next week explores the psychology behind why our brains fall for magic tricks even when we know they're illusions, the science of misdirection, the cognitive gaps magicians exploit, why knowing the method doesn't ruin the experience. Drop a comment below. Which accidental exposure was the worst? The card palm caught on camera? The wardrobe malfunction? The reflection reveal? Share thoughts on how magicians can protect against these mistakes. Hit that like button for more analysis of when magic goes wrong. The technical failures, the planning, oversights, the moments that change careers. And remember, every magician performing today knows these stories, knows these mistakes, and performs anyway, hoping their preparation is enough, hoping the cameras are positioned right, hoping nothing shifts or reflects or gets recorded from the wrong angle. That's not just performance pressure, that's career survival in an age where one mistake lives forever online. See you in the next one.